Tyrel, Tyler,
Whatever.
Ty, Tyrel.
You're gonna make me have to do a bloopers thing now.
From
Onto my plate.
where are you originally from?
Globe.
Globe. From
is
Globe.
Yep.
From the Globe.
Nice.
Born and raised in Arizona.
Yep. Born and raised in Arizona.
That's awesome.
Haven't lived anywhere else.
Currently at CrossFit Incite.
Yep.
Training.
Been there for a year.
A year, yeah.
Year.
Yeah. I remember when you first came.
I joined
That's
right
awesome.
before Desert
Right
City
before
last
Desert
year.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's really cool. And then you've been doing CrossFit for how long?
This will be 4 years.
Okay, 4 years doing CrossFit. What got you into CrossFit?
I saw the 2020 games that were taking place because they took place
the
in
ranch.
October that year.
Okay.
And so I watched that and I was like, what is this? This is sweet. And I started looking more into it, and then I just started looking into, all right, what's around me, and just went to the first gym I saw. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, this is great. Like, I love it.
That's
I suck at everything, and I like that I was like, I'm terrible at all this stuff, which means I get to work on stuff to get better at.
Perfect.
Which is what,
Like,
and it's still the same to this day. You still just work on what you're bad at. So that's why I just kind of fell in love with
tell me
CrossFit.
about that. So what, like, has that always been the case for you? Like, you're just trying to tackle something that's difficult? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I like to challenge myself. I don't like, there's stuff, I've always been athletic, so some stuff has come easy to me, and I'll be able to pick things up as far as like regular sports, basketball, football, baseball, stuff like that. But being able to work on things and seeing that progress, and like seeing like, oh, I am getting better, or I can, like, yes, I'm making progress each day, or whatever. I've always liked that. And then so when I came into CrossFit, and I saw, oh, there's weightlifting, there's gymnastics, there's running and cardio, like everything. I'm like, oh, this is great. Because coming into it, like, I was all, I could bench, squat, deadlift. I went to,
bro session.
I was a bro session gym guy. Yeah. So I could do all that stuff. But then someone's like, do a power clean. And I'm like, what?
What's that?
What's that?
What are we doing?
Yeah, get on that rig and like do a total bar. And I'm like, what?
You're like, my elbows don't go through.
Yeah.
I can't do this. My shoulders.
Yeah. So it was almost like a whole new world that I came into, and I was like, this is great. And it's like, it's the perfect way to get in shape. Even a month in, I was already like, I was down a few pounds. Like everything was already like trending in the right direction. Like, okay. Yeah, I was like, this is nice.
That's so awesome. Do you remember your first CrossFit workout, or is there a CrossFit workout that was pretty memorable when you first started?
I don't remember my first workout, but I remember the first open I did.
Okay.
Which was when they came with wall walks.
Oh,
that was my first open, was the wall walk and double under.
Oh, that was rough.
And I remember it because I was like 30 pounds heavier than I am now, so my shoulders blew up immediately. A week before that is when I just figured out how to do dubs, so it was just like, oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so I remember that. That one's gonna be ingrained in me for a while.
That's ingrained's a kind word there.
Yes.
That might be a scar.
Yes, for real.
Talk to me about just CrossFit outside of competing or outside of working out, community aspect of it, those types of things. Like, how's that been, an influence in your life, and how have you perceived that? You got a crew with you, that you built, and a community that you built, and
the community is. I mean, I'm sure it gets talked about a bunch, but yeah, the community is insane. It's nuts, the CrossFit community. But yeah, when I came into it, I was by myself. I just walked into a gym and whatnot, and then you develop you get friends, you get connections, you meet people, and before you know it, you've developed this like tight-knit group, and that's kind of what's happened for me. And I met my girlfriend at our old gym, and then we both went to Incite together, and I got my best friend to do CrossFit, and now him and his wife are doing it, and that's so cool. And he's actually competing here. He qualified for intermediate, awesome. So it's like it's fun to kind of see what the community can do in CrossFit, and like, it's like mutual suffering in a sense. It's like we all know that, some of these workouts are terrible, some of them are fun, but either way, we all know like we're getting, the best workout we can for the time constraints that we have. Yeah. And that's one thing I really liked about CrossFit as well. It's like, if I can only work out, an hour and a half in a day, like this is the best way to do it, because I'm gonna get a bit of everything. And the community on top of that is just insane. Like whether it's, you know, a brand new athlete to an elite athlete, like whether it's someone getting, you know, their first double under or their first muscle up, or, you know, walking a distance on their hand for the first time, like everyone is just so pumped up for that person because everyone knows what that feeling is. And that's one thing I really like, is you can really connect with everybody, whether it's, no matter what it is. When they're in, you know, they get pumped up, you know exactly how they're feeling because like you've experienced it as well.
How have you seen that translate now, like into your personal life? You know, that kind of talk about, you know, doing hard things, overcoming obstacles, you know, anywhere from that to, you know, community outside of the gym and how that's maybe even formed you to, you know, celebrating the small things. You know, there's so much in life that's like, we just don't do often. But like, talk a little bit about that, just like how that's sort of taken you out of the gym into even your personal life or work life or anything like that.
Well, I think what translates the most is never being satisfied. So it's like whether it's, you know, your career, I've taken it to my career where I don't want to just, you know, be you know, find my position and stay there. Like I'm always trying to move up. I don't want to be in a spot where there's a ceiling. And that's how I've approached CrossFit, where like I'm always trying to improve on everything. And so I've taken that into my career and tried to, you know, I want to, you know, bring in, for my job, I want to bring in the most work I can. I want to develop connections. I want to, you know, network. I want to build a community for like my job, and even in like in my personal life, you know, always striving to, you know, bigger and better things. And I think that's what CrossFit has helped me really like open my eyes to, as far as really taking that into other aspects of my life, you know, like putting in the effort in the gym and then also putting in the effort for, you know, nutrition or, you know, family or whatever else, wherever your priorities are, realizing, you know, what you need to put into it in order to get what you want out of it. And that's what CrossFit has helped me really establish too. I mean, if you go in there and you don't really care about a workout or something, you're probably not going to get much out of that workout. Same thing with anything in life. You know, if you don't put in the effort, you're probably not going to see any results. And that's one thing that's really stuck with me.
That's awesome. One of the things we talk about with Desert City is, you know, this whole idea of going through the desert, and the desert meaning a challenge or obstacle of life, you know, and the reality is it's not one thing that we are guaranteed of in this life is you're going to be suffering of some kind. We've all gone through you know, our own suffering, and it may not be a huge thing, or maybe a huge thing. What comes to mind when you hear something like that?
I think it can apply to so many things. I mean, we all suffer, whether it's, like you said, it's something, you know, traumatic as far as like a family or friend or something in life. We all experience, you know, some sort of suffering to, you know, varying degrees. And it's like you said, it's terrible in the moment, but you will always come out of it stronger and better. And it's just knowing that in the future, you know, like this is terrible now, but I know I'm going to be able to get through this, and I will become, you know, a stronger and better person because of it. That's what usually helps me when I'm going through something that's very tragic, or I'm in a suffering position, you know, in one part of my life, whether it's just for that day or it's like a month or whatever I'm going through, is knowing that, you know, if I stay true to, you know, myself, my values, what I believe in, I will get through this, and I will come out the other side better than I've ever been. And it's like you said, you get those connections, you meet people that mutual suffering, and you can build those bonds and whatnot that you just don't get if you don't go through something like that. So there are hardships, and they're terrible, and you don't wish them on anybody, but you know it's a part of life, and you will become a much better person at the end of the day.
That's awesome.
So that's what I take out of it.
It's awesome. I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.